Hey, also, I've been trying to investigate whether you can build Miyabi outside of the usual crit damage sort of builds. And so I've been trying to build mine towards like a traditional anomaly build, anomaly proficiency, obviously still building up the crit rate because it helps her anomaly mastery build up. So anything that's going to help that shatter and frostburn proc basically is what I focused on, which is a bit different where people have been focusing on maximizing the third slash basic attack, so to speak. And yeah, basically I've been testing it by running the Dead End Butcher Notorious Hunt challenge, and I was able to clear it with my team comp of 109. No bang boo. No bang boo, just to clarify. I had an M0 Miyabi, M1 Caesar, and an M0 Yanagi. All had their SIGs. The stats matter for sure, but I'm going to show you other people that ran it, and I just want to take you through the team comp differences. But my one is an AP themed sort of team comp. So most of my damage is focused on trying to make Yanagi pop off on a disorder. Cleared in 109. Now I had another person do it with an M2 Miyabi. Now their Miyabi is a crit damage built Miyabi. They had a Sakaki M6, they had a Caesar M0, no bang boo. They cleared it in 112. And they said that that was kind of the best they could do with their like current build. Now, if they can maybe improve the drive dis of their Miyabi, maybe it will drop down more. But it was really interesting because I'm like, how am I with an AP build able to like match an M2 Miyabi? So I wanted to find if there were more people in the community that could kind of run the test to see if they could beat my 109. And the good thing is when you put these things out, there are definitely people that up for the challenge. And yeah, I have a few different findings that I wanted to present because it's super interesting, not purely because of which one do you build. I don't think it's as simple as saying there's a definitive answer. There's an easier answer. The easy answer to save your time is just build it towards crit damage. You can play it by herself and she's great. You can fit into other teams and work around stuff. And if it happens to be a 112 versus 109, that's not a very big difference, right? Though she was an M2, which is a bit like, But yeah, it seems like that's not the only runs that people are able to do that involve their crit rate or crit damage Miyabi and still perform well. There's been people that went under the 1 minute mark. So yeah, anyway, the first guy had an M6 Caesar. I mean, M6 Miyabi, an M1 Caesar, and M2 Rena. He was able to clear it in 52 seconds. So I was thinking, okay, if you have M6 stuff, 52 seconds is where they are. So 109 versus 52 for an M0, I thought that's not too bad of a difference. Even 112 is not too bad of a difference, considering the price jump between the two. But yeah, this team comp cleared it in 52 seconds. Obviously, I have images of their builds and stuff, so like they're built well. Is a summary there. I can show you if you're ever interested. Just let me know in the comments and I can like try and post this stuff on my like comments page. But yeah, the next one was kind of interesting. They cleared it in 105. Now their team was a crit damage Miyabi, an M2 Rena, and an M0 Yanagi, and they had an M0 Miyabi. Miyabi had her SIG, Rena had her SIG, and Yanagi had lip gloss. Now his Yanagi actually was built towards pen ratio, 24%, which is pretty interesting. And the Rena, I think it was just like a pretty typical Rena, 70% pen ratio. So like, yeah, it's really interesting this one because his damage was split between these two and Miyabi, and it cleared it in 4 seconds faster than my run. So I was just like, wow. So everyone's been saying you can't build an anomaly proficiency Miyabi. It sucks. It's terrible. It's the worst build you can get. I don't think people realize how close it is to the crit damage stuff. Like it's with this is an M0 Miyabi. My one is an M0 Miyabi. I had an M1 Caesar. He had an M2 Rena. Like we can kind of let's just call that like fair, right? Like you could argue maybe his is better. His Yanagi had way more anomaly proficiency than mine. His was around 400. Mine was around 340. But even so, I'm just like, well, that's 4 seconds is not a big difference between the two. So kind of made me think you can kind of build these characters in many different ways and get very close to, if not the same result. Like 4 to 5 seconds is a increase, but it's not like as much as I thought it would be. And I don't know if the community is aware of this. A lot of people talk about this is her best build, but I think they think it's like blasts everything else, but it's really marginal improvements. It seems to be really marginal improvements, at least with this data that I've got currently. So yeah, hopefully that helps anyone that's trying to build their characters a certain way. Maybe you have a really good drive disc sitting on the side, but it doesn't fit within the traditional Pridwin builds or what they put in on Reddit. Like, the damage formula here is kind of complicated and it's a little bit obscure. I don't think anyone really properly knows how it works or whether it's up to date. Like, I've seen formulas, I've broken them apart, and like I can see that it's dependent on a number of different factors, and your team comps matter and how you build up anomaly matters. And yeah, maybe that little drive disc you got sitting on the side might in your team outperform the traditional stuff. So you just got to test them out is basically what I learned. The other one I found was this, which was super interesting. This person had an M2 Miyabi. He used an M0 Caesar from memory and an M6 Lucy. This guy cleared it in 52 seconds, which equaled the M6 Miyabi earlier. Crit damage Miyabi. So like based on this, I'd be saying like build it a crit damage, because if you have the right team comp, you'll be able to potentially equal the same performance as an M6. Now you might say, oh, this might be because the boss ran out of health for both of them, but this boss is pretty tanky. You can clear him fast. It's not based on like a lower limit. From what they've told me, you can like kill it faster if you can one-shot it or something like that. So yeah, they're obviously their team performance is pretty close. So, and that might be why a lot of people said stop at M2, like, because they're like, maybe they've seen similar results. But yeah, this was very interesting. An M2 Miyabi, 52 seconds, which totally trumped the other crit damage Miyabi. The other crit damage Miyabi was 105. What did they have? They had they had Caesar, and they used... they had Yanagi and Rina. So Yanagi and Rina team was 105. M0 Miyabi. This one, Lucy and Caesar, 52 seconds, but you needed the M2. And I think that was it. Yeah, that was all I had. But I was like, mine was 109. There was another one that was 112. There was one at 105. There was one at 52, right? And I know the 52... like, there's a big difference between a 52-second M2 Miyabi and a 112 M2 Miyabi. So yeah, I don't think anyone can tell you what is the best build for your account. I think that if you follow the things that you hear online, it may not always fit with what you've got going on. Like, if you've got this Rina Yanagi situation, it's probably going to perform pretty similar to my AP build. So if you've got really good AP drive discs and not so good crit damage drive discs, you might be fine to use that stuff. Though it seems like if you can build it towards that crit rate, crit damage, you may open the door to better builds later, particularly as you do vertical investment. I haven't seen anyone come along, and it might just be because of a sample size, anyone come along and say, here's a 52-second AP Miyabi or something like that. But like, who knows? Maybe it's possible. Maybe if you've got a really cracked Yanagi or something, like it will do it. Or a really cracked Rina, it does it. Who knows? That's what I've kind of discovered with this. Like, even within the crit damage like section of this test, there are vastly different results depending on their team comps, what drive discs they're using, what SIGs they're using. And I just wanted to show you like some of those things to see if it maybe helps your account. My summary of like the findings is I would probably go with what drive discs you have that are best. Now, if you've got stuff that's got the crit rate and got the crit damage, put that on. Because from what I'm seeing, a lot of these people that are getting the low times, that's what they've got. So we can replicate that. But if you don't really have really good crit damage rolls, crit rate rolls, but you do have some really good anomaly proficiency ones, throw that stuff on. Because it's gonna tie you over until you can like maybe slowly invest in like a better Miyabi. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you're fine with like the 109 clear rate and you'll just go like build up your other units. Maybe you'll want to focus more on like a newer unit that's coming. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a big differential between all the different like runs, at least in an M0 Miyabi. As you start going up the Mindscape levels, it seems to change a lot, but not 10-15 seconds. Like, is that a lot? I don't know. It's up to you. I would say that could be quite a lot. That's a big time saver. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this video get received. I would have liked to be like, yeah, this build's better than the other. I think it's safe just to go with the crit rate, crit damage build, but I also wanted to show that the other builds aren't far off. It just depends on what you've got going on. Like this pen ratio build seems to be pretty good. I wonder if what would happen if he put a Jane Doe in there. Would that beat Miyabi's crit damage one? Like, or would Jane Doe be able to outperform Miyabi? Like, that's the kind of thing. If it's unfortunate that boss is weak to ice, it'd be cool if it was also weak to physical, so it could test that stuff out. But yeah, let me know if you found any interesting builds I didn't cover today. Like, not even Miyabi specific, but like other characters that you found that like everyone's like say to build a certain way, but you've decided to build it another way and found like good success that you're able to test maybe doing one of these boss battles and things like that. And also let me know if you like these kind of videos and content, and I can start trying to look out for more opportunities to make this stuff. If not, then this is probably one of the last ones I'll make on this kind of topic. But yeah, anyway, hopefully that you found that interesting, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.